this week on Pat McAfee before the national championship game yesterday, Nick Saban was a guest on the show, and he had this quote where he said, quote, players need to get compensated, no doubt, talking about NIL, but it has to be done in a way where, in some kind of way have competitive balance, and that every school has the same thing. One school can't spend $30 million for players while other schools spending $3 million.
The face of spending $30 million while other schools are spending nothing.
This man built an entire career on paying players under the table more than any other school could. And now that it's out in the open, and there is clearly a difference in what some teams can spend versus others in NIL money. 100%. It's absolutely how that is. And we said that was going to happen with NIL. We said teams with big bankrolls were going to be able to pay players way more than some of the smaller schools. Scott, when they first talked about NIL, do you remember the team that you and I said could run college football if they wanted to? Do you remember who it was that we said could take over? If they sat down and they were like, you know what, it's time we dominate college football, the one school that absolutely could do it?
It was Yale or Harvard.
Yale. 100%.
I was going to say, it was one of the Ivy League schools, I remember.
Yes. Back to the 1800s of just like, we are running college football now because we have that kind of money. If we wanted to do so, we could do it. Nick Saban benefited from a system where he was able to get the bag and, drop it in a little McDonald's bag. And here you go, kid. And everything's under the table and hush, hush, way more than any other coach could. And now that it's all out in the open and everybody can do it and boosters are allowed to actually spend money above the board, this is what this asshole has to say. I'm floored, Scott, by the audacity of this man to say this, to look into a camera and say this. Am I overreacting or is this absurd?
No, this is just sports mirroring real life again. When the oligarchy, when things go south for the oligarchy, the first thing they want to do is, you know what? Communism doesn't sound so bad, eh, guys? Right? Like, let's get all on the same page. Like, I shouldn't be making more, right? Like, we should all be working together. Get the fuck out of here with that take, dude. Like, seriously. Like, what a revisionist asshole who has continued to pretend like they didn't do that. Like, the Shane Gillis thing, ha ha ha, but he got so butthurt.
He was so mad.
So mad. And it's like, dude, I mean, it is exactly like steroids. Like, we all knew the game, man. It's cool. And you were good enough to not get caught. Like, you are a legendary coach because you were good at the game. You never got caught. Like, and kudos to you, because there were so many other people that I'm sure he sat around and just laughed about. Like, look at that, they're so sloppy. They don't got it right. Like, the Alabama way was being able to not get caught handing money over to folks for all that time and just fucking getting away with it.
I only wish that Pat McAfee would have pressed a little bit on this and been like, so Nick, do you think maybe if we're putting a cap on how much schools can spend on players, should we also put like a salary cap on coaches? Like, you can only spend a certain amount on a coach? Because Nick would have hit him with a coach. No. Now you've gone too far.
No doubt. There's no doubt in my mind that there shouldn't be any type of pool or a limit on how much coaches can make. But the players and the schools, they should definitely have.
They gotta look. You can't be spending. One school can't spend $30 million on players and another $3 million. If you want to spend $30 million on a coach, you should be able to do that. That should be well within your rights to spend $30 million on a coach and $3 million on a coach over here. It's not fair. So
who do you think's up at 3 a.m. bailing these sons of bitches out of jail? Huh? That's where all the people are. While you're sleeping safe at home, I get called down to the local PD to get another one of my dumb fuck players from the hood out of some shit. So don't tell me about how much I'm making.
He never bailed anybody else out. That was the position.
I think early on in his career. Early on in his career, he had later on he had runners, but I'm saying
that
the
got to
justification
him
is
the
because,
next
hey,
morning.
at the lower levels, you know, the head coaches, they got to be there.
Well,
They
yeah,
gotta
yeah,
show
the
up
head
at the
coach-
county. They got to show up at the county jail. But
Coach JB is there to bail the kids out. Listen, it's been a while since we've awarded one of these, and it feels kind of weird to give it to Saban, considering he was
wasn't he the motherfucker of the year?
He was the inductee in the first ever Motherfucker of the Week
Hall of
Fame. The only inductee, well, not the only inductee, the only class that we elected to the Motherfucker of the Week Hall of Fame. But he deserves
It's
it again
fitting.
this week. Nick Saban.
Mother what? You motherfucker, you.
So
Like
glad
cementing his status in case anybody was trying to challenge the throne. It's like, don't forget, I'm the biggest motherfucker out there when it comes to sports takes.
The only thing that would have made this quote better is if he just ended it with, "Oh, and by the way, fuck Shane Gillis. That's some bullshit."
We didn't cheat.